Hello students. So students, in the previous class in the chapter that is gravitation, we have started this chapter and we try to understand the meaning of the gravitation. When we say that a gravitation, it means what? It means it is a kind of a force. A force which is acting on a body by the other body. That kind of a force is known as a gravitation or gravitational force. In this force, one body attracted the other body towards itself. I told you about it. If suppose we throw an object upward in the direction, then a force is acting on that body, makes the body to come in the downward direction. And that force is a gravitational force which is acting on a body which we have thrown upward by the earth. So this is a property of the earth that it used to attract anything towards itself, towards its center. So the force which is acting on a body by the earth, so making it to move towards its center, that force is known as a gravitational force. Gravitational force, and this force is also known as a gravity also, students. Okay, so we will call it as a gravity. Either we can say it is a gravitational force or we can say gravity to it. Okay, so we will say that is also known as a gravitational force. Okay, either we call it as a gravitational force, students, or we can say that it is also known as a gravity. So the force which is exerted by the earth on that of any of the object, that is known as a gravitational force or a gravity. Now you see, students, what I am saying, that in an object it exerts a force on the other object or it tries to attract the other object. This is what it is, the universal law. It means every object it attracts the other object. One object it attracts the other object. This is the universal law. It means if two objects are there and both of the objects are having certain masses, then both of them will going to attract each other. Okay, both of them are exerting a force on each other. Now there is one thing that you have to understand, that if suppose the two things are kept at a certain distance, it means one of the object is exerting a force on the other object, but it also depends upon the masses. If the masses of the object is less, if it is of a smaller mass, even though applying the forces on each other, there will be no change. It means there will be no movement occur in that of the objects. Okay. Okay, so we are saying that if suppose two stones are kept far apart from each other, and there also both of them are exerting a force on each other, both of them are trying to attract each other towards itself, but we cannot see such kind of a movement of the two stone or two object towards itself. It is because of the mass. Since both of them are of having a smaller mass, so there is no such movement can be seen. But if one of the object is the larger one and the other one is the smaller one, so the movement of the object can be seen very easily. Okay, so likewise, student, if we say that earth, so earth is what? It is having a large mass. Earth is large mass. And if we see stone, so stone is having very small mass. So by this, students, we can say that since it is having very large mass, very much large mass, so the force which is exerted by the earth on the stone can be seen very easily, as when you throw the stone in the upward direction, it start coming towards the earth because of the force of attraction exerted by the earth on the stone. So, if the two object is there, they are attracting towards each other, they are continuously exerting force on each other, but due to smaller masses, there is no such kind of a movement can be seen easily. Now we will move to the next topic, students, and we will start it with that of a universal law of gravitation. What is the meaning of a universal law of gravitation? Universal law of gravitation. You see, students, whenever we talk about the universal law, what we have said right now, we said that if the two objects are there which are having certain mass, if they are placed at a certain distance, they start exerting a force on each other. Universal law of gravitation also says the same thing, that if a two objects of having different masses and if both of them are kept at a certain distance, the force which is acting between each other is directly proportional, or we can say the gravitational force between them is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Okay, so we can write it. According to universal law, every body in the universe, attract every other body. Every other body with a force which is directly proportional to square of product of their masses. Okay, directly proportional to the product of their masses. Okay, so it is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Okay, so this is the universal law of gravitation, and it is very important one. That is, everybody in the universe, it attracts every other body with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses, and it is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. This is the universal law of gravitation. Okay, so we can understand it with the help of an example, students. So let me write it. I hope you all have written this because it is a very important statement. It is a very important one. Every time in the exam, it is asked that what do you understand by the universal law of gravitation. So it is very important one. Now let us try to understand the universal law of gravitation with the help of an example. So you see students, if two objects are there, I am keeping the objects here. This is the one object A. Okay, and then another object is there, that is B. Okay, and if you see students that they both of them are having different masses. This is M1 and here it is M2. And these both of them are far apart from each other with the distance of R. Okay, so the distance between A to B is R. Okay, so you see two bodies are there having different masses and the distance between them is R1 and distance between them is R. Okay, so we can write it. Two bodies of different masses, that is M1 and M2, are kept far at a distance of R from each other. Now suppose we will say that the mass of the first one. Okay, so suppose the mass of the first one is M1 and M2. Now this is the condition. What we have to do, we have to apply the law of gravitation, universal law of gravitation. It states that the two objects having different masses, the directly proportional to the gravitational force, and the distance between them is inversely proportional to square of distance between them. Okay, so we can say that first one, the masses, or we can say that the force between the two bodies, the force between the two bodies are directly proportional to the product of their masses, their masses. So how can we represent it, students? We can represent it by F is directly proportional to M1 into M2. So this is F, it is directly proportional to M1, M2, right? Okay, this is what, student, this is the first equation, you can say. Okay, so you see here, this is the first law, in the universal law of gravitation, the first thing that we have studied, that the force of gravitation is directly proportional to the product of their masses. So if M1 is the mass of the A body and M2 is the mass of the second body, so product of their masses will be F is directly proportional to M1 into, that is why we did not put any sign here, because you know that if two different units are there and numbers are there and both of them do not have a sign, so we will understand it as a product. Okay, so we can say that force is directly proportional to M1 into M2. Okay, this is the first case. In the second one, now force is not only directly proportional to their product of their masses, but second one is the force between the two bodies are inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Okay, so it is not only directly proportional to that of the product of their masses, student, but it is also inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. It means f is inversely proportional to the 1 by r square. Okay, so f, this is the second one, we can say. So in the first one, we have seen that f is directly proportional to m1 and m2 product of their masses. In the second case, we have seen that f is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. That is, f is inversely proportional to 1 by r square. Okay, now when we equate both of the equation together, what we will find here, students? We will find combining both of the equation. Combining both of the equations, students, what we will find? We will see that first equation, what was the first equation? First equation was f is directly proportional to m1 and m2. This is the first equation. And in the second equation, we have seen f is 1 by r square. It means both of them are somehow proportional to that of the gravitational force. So combining first equation and that of the second equation, we will get f is directly proportional to m1 m2 upon r square. Right? So from here itself, student, you can understand that f is directly proportional to the product of their masses and f is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. One is the product of their masses, inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Now when we remove this proportionality constant, then there must be a constant will be given here and we will represent it by g, capital G. So we can also write it like or f is equals to g into m1 m2 upon r square. It's a very important one. We can also write it simply as a g m1 m2 upon r square. G is what, student? G is a constant. You know that when we remove the proportionality, then there will be a constant will be present there. So constant will come there. So we can say that when you remove the proportionality then a constant, that is G, came here. What is the G here, student? It is a gravitational constant. And since we are studying here the universal law, so we can say that it is a universal gravitational constant. Okay, so we can say that is capital G is a universal. It is universal gravitational constant. Okay, it is a universal gravitational constant. Means the value of G is always remains the same. Okay. Okay. So this is what G is also known as a universal gravitational constant, students. Okay. Now, did this universal gravitational constant, student, depends upon some factors? So it does not depend upon the kind of a medium, whether this means universal gravitational constant is in the air or in the liquid or in the space, in the vacuum. No, it does not depend upon the medium, as well as it does not depend upon the mass or the distance between the two objects. Okay, so we can say that this gravitational constant, this G does not depends upon the it does not depends upon the medium between the two objects. Between the two objects, it does not depend upon the medium of the two objects, as well as it does not depend upon the masses and the distance between the two objects. So we can say that G also does not depends upon the masses and the distance between the two objects. Okay, so you can see, students, that it does not depend upon the masses as well as it does not depend upon the distance between the two objects. In both of the cases, do not depend upon all these things. So G is a constant, students, and it does not depend upon the medium as well as the masses. Okay, now the above formula that we have discussed right now, and that is G, that is F is equals to G m1 m2 upon R square is applicable at any of the places. Okay, whether it is in the liquid or in any kind of a medium, it is applicable. In spite of a mass, in spite of the distance, it is applicable in all the kind of in all the situations, student, all between the two bodies. Okay, so this is the factors on which you can say the G does not depend upon. That G, it does not depend upon the medium between the two objects. Sometimes in a very one word question and answers, it is asked that is the G depends upon the mass or on that of the medium. So you have to write no. If it is an optional question and the question is asked that G depends upon, then all these things have been given. You have to write that no, G does not depend upon any of these. Okay. So we are saying that universal law of gravitation is applicable at any of the object, between the two objects, at any places, at anywhere. And in this one, student, in this formula, we have said that F is equals to G m1 m2 upon R square. Right? m1 m2 upon R square, it means F is directly proportional to the masses and F is inversely proportional to the distance between them, square of distance between them. Okay, so we can say that it is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them, square of distance, directly proportional to the masses. Now you see here, if the mass of the object increases, so since it is directly proportional, so the force will also get increased. Okay, so if the product of the masses will increase, students, so we can say the force will also increase. And if the distance between these two, okay, and force is inversely proportional to the distance between them. It means that if we double the force, then the distance will become 1/4. Okay, so if the mass will increase, the gravitational force will increase, and if we double that of the distance, then the force will become 1/4. So increase in the distance will going to decrease the force, and increase in the mass will going to increase the force also. Okay, so we can write it, student, that is, see, we can say that if we double the distance between them, if we double the distance, okay, if we double the distance between the two objects, the gravitational force will become 1/4. Okay, So the gravitational force will becomes 1/4. Okay, so decrease in that of the distance between them will going to increase the gravitational force, and increase in that of the gravitational force will going to decrease that of the increase in that of distance between them will going to decrease the gravitational force. Okay, so we can say that the two objects, if they are at a certain distance, if we increases the distance, the gravitational force will become less, and if we decreases the distance between the two objects, the force of gravitation will be more, square of that. Okay, so since it is inversely proportional, it will going to decrease. Now let us try to understand the unit of the universal law of gravitation. What is the unit? Okay, so you see, student, units of gravitational universal law of gravitation. Okay, so we will see that of a unit of a gravitational constant. Gravitational constant. Unit of gravitational constant, which is represented by G. Now you see here, student, how can you find the unit, student? So we know that F is equals to G into m1 m2 upon r square, right? We can also write it by rearranging itself, that is F is equals to, this r square will come here, so it will be F into r square is equals to G into m1 m2. Okay, is that clear? Let me write it. Okay, so you see here, that is F into r square is equals to G into m1 m2. Now you see, we can say that we can also write it like F into r square upon this m1 m2 can come here, students, so we can write it m1 m2 is equals to G, right? Or we can say that is G is equals to F into r square upon G is equals to F is equals to F into r square upon m1 and m2. Okay, so we can write it here itself, that is G is equals to F into r square upon m1 m2. Now what we can do, student, we can put the values by putting the unit. Okay, so what is the unit of a force, student? So we know that the unit of the force is Newton, right? And that of the r square, r is means what? The distance, and we can say the distance is equals to meter. So here, since it is a distance square, so we will write here meter square. So into meter square upon m1, mass is, SI unit of mass is represented by kg. SI unit of distance is represented by m. Okay, so we can write here kg into kg, that will be equals to capital G. Okay, so we can say capital G is equals to Newton into meter square upon kg into kg, and that is equals to kg square. Okay, so we can write it G is equals to Newton meter square upon kg square, or Newton meter square kg per kg square. right? So this is what? This is the formula, this is the unit of that of a capital G. Newton meter square per kg square. Okay, so we will simply put the values of that of the force, that of the masses and the distance. Newton is the SI unit of force is equals to Newton. Then SI unit of that of the distance. Here I am writing a distance because distance will be represented by capital R right now. So we can write here that is equals to meter, and SI unit of a masses. Any of the mass, student, whether it is a mass M1 or it is M2, both of them will have the unit will be the same here for the mass and be represented by kg. Okay. So by putting the values here, students, we can write it. So meter, it is the meter, so meter square. Mass is M1, M2 represented by kg in kg, so it will be kg square, and here this will be equals to capital G, universal law of gravitation will be equals to Newton meter square per kg square. How this per kg occurs, students? When this kg will go in the upward, so it will become -2, so we will call it as a per kg square. So this is the formula of the, this is the unit of a universal gravitational constant. Okay.